will drop the link in the description box. My name is Jamila. Thank you again for tuning in for another episode of Living the Lifestyle of the Thrift and Famous, and welcome back again. In my previous video, I shared the exciting news about another project house that we're taking on, and this is a farmhouse that is very old. It's older than what I actually thought it was, and I'm going to share that and talk about it also in this video. But anyway, thank you all for the wonderful comments, and I'm glad you're joining me on this new journey. The house has been sitting for a very, very long time, probably before or around the 70s. So here we go, and we're going to start with our first step, and that is getting this yard cleaned and cleared. And honestly speaking, I love the fact that I was able to find local help because, you know, the small town, you want to keep the business as local as possible. And to reiterate where we started with this house, and it was $1,700. So yeah, let that sink in. I know some may think it's impossible, but it is possible. So anyway, let's just move on to what we're doing on the inside. I got somebody to that's going to clean it out for me. Again, local help. And this is where the journey begins. And getting those boards down off the windows so I could see clearly inside was truly something that was needed. You know how sometimes you just can't focus because it's so dark. So yeah, I was glad that we got the boards off the windows and we could see clearly inside the house. And just the cleanup of the yard made a world of difference. So just, you know, it's just amazing how even that makes you feel good that a change is coming and the visions are possible now. With it all being so grown up, it was almost hard to imagine it. However, I still saw the vision for it. But yeah, things were not looking as dim when we, you know, from when we first saw it, with the tree growing on the house and the inside so disheveled and a lot of rubble around. But just cleaning out made me start seeing, oh, my visions and my thought on how it's supposed to look is going to be refreshed, revived, because I can see it now. The house has 4 rooms, so it's going to be 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, a bathroom, and a living room. This room will be the kitchen, and they have a pantry already inside of it, which was great to see. And all that's going to get changed. I'm not going to bust open walls and knock down walls or anything like that, because the walls are actually made of concrete in this house. But, you know, where the sheetrock is, that's all going to be replaced. And I'm going to knock down a couple of walls by the front door area. But this here would be bedroom number 1. And all the rooms are 16 by 16, which is great. I mean, they're very spacious too, which I do like. And the house has 10-foot ceilings. In the foyer, the hallway area, there was a drop ceiling being installed. But above that ceiling, you could see there was the original ceiling. They were dropping it down. So we're going to take all of that out and expose the higher ceiling. Then all of the house will have the 10-foot ceilings. This room here would be the living room, So it's this is one of the rooms with the wall I want to come down, which is the wall that's to the right of that door frame. Now I might close up this area, I'm not sure, but it leads into the second bedroom, which is in the back of the house. And again, very spacious. It already has a closet in this room, which is good. And then crossing through the hall or the foyer is the kitchen. So the kitchen is a nice large kitchen. And then back down the hallway. So you see the drop ceilings, and all of that is going to come down. And facing you is the front door. So you kind of got a feel of where things will be located. Now the bathroom is going to be in the back of the house, between the kitchen and the back bedroom. I'm going to block off that wall and create a bathroom. So you won't have to go through a bedroom to get a bath. Now I was thinking about a half bath somewhere in one of the bedrooms, but not quite sure about that because that adds into the expenses of extra plumbing, and not to mention framing it out. But we'll see. And right now I'm just focusing on the one main bath, and that, like I said, is going to be between the kitchen and the second bedroom. And this is where we could see that was the ceiling exposed, and how they were putting up a drop ceiling. And all that is coming. Like I said, it came down. He did a good job at bringing it down. And believe it or not, I was surprised to see how the house, it did have some wiring going on, but it never had water running into the house. So that's one of the projects we have to, tap into the water. But I was just amazed to see how, even just looking at how this house was built, and you're looking at the window frames, and they're all in good tack wood, but I would have loved to have been able to save them and just add some glass panes, but they're not functional, unfortunately. So they're going to have to be replaced, of course. And we're going to, once the wiring goes in, that's when we could focus on closing up the walls, fixing the walls, the ceilings. I was happy to see that they had some of them had the the wainscoting up top. The doors were all hardwood doors in the house, so we might be able to salvage them by taking them down, sanding them, and restoring them. Who knows? We'll see. But a good solid wood door is nice to have, and especially since it was original to the home. And outside that kitchen door, we're going to add on an addition to create a wash or laundry area and an outside back porch. Just nothing big, but at least it's going to be 6 foot by 16. So that'll be good and give enough space back there. But see how nice and clean it's coming once it's cleared out and the trash is gone. You could see clearly the drop ceiling is down. It's been swept. But the flooring is just so amazing. Again, this house was soundly built. As the saying goes, if walls could talk, I wonder what stories they would tell. I'm not going to believe that horrors were in here, but, for what it's worth, there won't be a horror story going forward. This house is going to be built with love and care and brought back to life and be the home for someone to love. And in my father's words, it's still standing. Imagine this was built when there were dirt roads. So there's the story to tell behind this house. And I'm going to try to find some more to share with you, but this was shared with me when they found out I bought the house. It's one of the historical homes in the community, so now I'm creating a new history for it to have. Thank you again for joining me on the Project Farmhouse, because in our community and in our homes, beauty is being home and loving it. And thank you again for tuning in for another episode of Living the Lifestyle of the Thrift and Famous. And if you'd like to, please drop me a comment. Don't forget to like and share. I'll see you again.